Today I'm going to install these OEM mud flaps or splash guards on my 2017 GMC 2500. They go on just like this, little sticker backing on there, and I need to drill a couple new holes, put in some rivet nuts, but it's pretty easy. Let's get started. I'll start off by cleaning the area pretty thoroughly, especially the spot where the sticker is going to stick on. Next, you want to remove a number of these T15 head screws. And this 13mm body bolt from underneath. All right, with all these screws removed, we're going to slip the mud flap on over these two lower screw holes, and we're going to use those to align these upper holes and pilot two new ones. All right, with those two screws in place, what you want to do is position the mud flap as tight to the body line of the fender flare as you possibly can, and then pilot those new holes. All right, with that splash guard pushed up into position, I'm going to pilot these holes to 9/30 seconds. Nothing like drilling a hole in a brand new truck. All right, with those two new holes in place, you want to remove these lower screws and pull that splash guard back off. Next, you want to very carefully pry this piece of trim away from the body, and it looks like this has already been off of here at one point in its life, but it's very crucial to release the little clips without delaminating the glue backing that holds it on. I'm going to put some more adhesive on there while this thing's sitting here. To do that, I'm going to clean this thing up pretty well. So I've already gotten these two screws removed. I'm going to pull off this front 7mm as well, and then carefully pry this thing away as I go on down the line. Careful not to scratch the paint or break any of these little clips. And this front one's going to be another one of those tricky ones where you got to be careful not to pull the adhesive backing off of it. And as you can see, that front one was starting to peel loose as well. All right, so I've got the flare cleaned up with some alcohol, put some super glue on there, got it rubbed around on the little adhesive tabs that are remaining on the little body clip. Just going to press it into place. Let it sit there and dry and set. And the same with the rear. All right, with the adhesive dry, I'm just going to pop the front edge of this thing back on, work it down the line. And then peel back that inner liner and size these up to 23/64. Careful not to explode the edge like I did. Next, you want to insert these nut certs. They're basically threaded nut rivets, and you need a special tool to install these things. I picked this up off of Amazon. It was about 65 bucks. Harbor Freight has some. They're pretty affordable. Just make sure you get one that has the M6 die size. So you want to thread this M6 nut onto there, pop it into the slot, and squeeze it like a pair of bolt cutters. And unthread the tool from the rivet nut. And that's basically all there is to it. Basically just slip it in there, make sure it's nice and flat, give it a squeeze, and that's it. Now you've got two threaded holes into your fender for these larger M6 bolts that are going to hold the upper half of that mud flap on. Pop that fender flare back in, reinstall that 13 in the bottom, reattach that felt wheel well liner. And you want to thoroughly clean the area that adhesive is going to stick to. I'm using some rubbing alcohol. It comes with a couple of little alcohol prep pads, but I think a rag with some rubbing alcohol on it seems to work a little better, more thorough. Slip that splash guard into place and install the bottom screws just loosely. And with those in there loosely, start your new M6 bolts into those threaded nut certs. All right, with all those 4 attachment screws in place and still on there loose, what you want to do is hold the splash guard up in a position where you want it, and then slide out that adhesive backing for that sticker and hold that in place for about a minute. All right, with that sticker in place, continue to hold it in place and run these upper M6 bolts with a T30 into position, and then those lower 2 screws with a T15. And that's it. All right, well there it is. Turned out pretty nice. That ought to keep this paint from chipping and keep the mud from splashing up on here. Pretty nice. I installed the same ones on my wife's 2016 about a year ago, or 100,000 miles ago. They've held up just fine, no issues. The only difference was they didn't come with the hardware with the M6 rivet nuts and bolts, so I ended up going down to the hardware store and getting some sheet metal screws and some tapered washers, and it did just fine. No issues. So if you don't feel like buying the tool or going through all that hassle, just pilot a quick little hole, run some sheet metal screws in there, good to go.